Okay, so we are going to continue, and what we have going on is basically just starting to get this shape. Now, it doesn't matter. I know some of these look a little bit blocky. That's okay. Um, Basically, what I'm just trying to do is just get the general shape. Oh, stop that. And, okay, I want to hold this line. I'm going to pull you, scale you up. Want to bring you in a little bit. Put one right on top of that. And scale that one in to match this surface. And right now I'm just toggling between using the last tool I used, which was the Insert Edge Loop tool, and R, just to get the general shapes that I need. And it's okay if it's a little blocky right now, we'll fix that. Jinkies. There we go. I'm going to have to fix that. That's a little too warped. That's alright. Keep doing that. Got out of my rhythm. So now add another, because there's a change here. Another right here. And you can see how I'm just basically following the flow . This one, once again, I'm going to put it almost right on top of it because it's flat. And then scale that in. And you might notice I'm a little bit off on some of them, but once again, part of this is because of the fact that this is a weird angle that I'm going off of. So I can take some creative license to this, and I'm not going to worry about it too much because I'll fix it in post, as they say. And we also add so that we can hold a shape. And I'll have to do a little bit more magic with that one, but that's okay. Once again, you have to think about the idea that most people you show it to are not going to know what it was that you're basing off it. They're not going to say, hey, that's like that's like 3 millimeters off. Jinkies, I hate when it does that. Let's try that again. There we go. That's better. If something goes wrong, just hit G and redo it. Don't just leave it there, because it will bite you in the rear end later. And I know this from experience. So I'm going to have to adjust for the curvature of this. I'm going to have to kind of mimic, change, because we're at a weird angle right now. I'll fix that later. If this is perfectly flat, we can just drop it right down to there. Or just basically, I did Z again, almost right on top. And then just bring it in. And then I could just go in, grab the vertices and scale those into there. Okay. Let's see what we have so far. So I'm going to go, that base might be a little too thick, maybe. We'll see. Let's press 5 and see what we got. And so I could see this clearly. There's an isolate button, so I could click right here just to isolate, so I'm just looking at that, and that's not too bad. Needs a little adjustment here and there, but that's really not that bad. Some smoothing. Now if you really want to see, press 3, and then we can really see, wow, look at how smooth and nice that is. So when we get something like, let's turn off isolate, hit 4, and go back into the front view. Now we can kind of go back and say, wow, this is a little bumpy in here. Let me just add a couple of extra divisions there to round this off so that it actually rounds better. So we add density not to the whole thing, but we add density to where we need it. And then we'd go in, so like right here, this should be a lot more rounded out. Z out of that. I want to put that right in the there. And maybe pop that out just a little. So I'm only adding, I'm doing a second pass now just to add some density to help make this a little bit more organic and have a nicer shape to it. You can see that looks nicer already. If I go into object mode, press 3, that looks nice. One other thing, these polygons, these edges can be hardened and softened. And what that means is that I can actually take an edge, I'm just going to use this as an example, and I could go harden. And what you'll notice now is that this is faceted. You see that? Because sometimes you do want a harder edge. I don't want one there, but you can actually see that what it's doing. So instead, let me just soften that back out. I want to add my hard edges where there should be hard edges, where there's divisions, like right here, and harden those. Press G because that's the last thing I did. So wherever you would see those, and I'm trying to get them to look sharper and more defined, I'm just double clicking, grabbing the whole thing, and because I hit harden edge, which is also, oh, I know they moved it. Mesh display harden edge. It's the same thing. And soften edge. And we could see that that actually holds it a lot better. Now, one thing you'll also notice is when I hit 3, the bottom turns very, very rounded. And that's that same thing we talked about previously, where just adding a few extra edges in the right place is going to help a little bit with that and help maintain. And I'm going to show you how to do a bevel later that will also help that. But now if I hit 3, you see that's a much cleaner edge to it. And the same thing where here we're getting this issue. So I can harden it. It's still hardened, but it's still giving me this swoop that's happening there. So I'm just going to add a couple of extra edges there on either side to tell it, hey, don't lose the detail here. And now if I hit 3, we can see it's maintaining that definition a lot more. So anywhere that I want to actually get that, press 1, I can add those. One last thing, there's one other thing we can do to help that. If I go in, I double click, and there's an option, a tool called the crease tool. Okay, mesh tools, crease. This only works on polygons, and I have an edge selected. So I double clicked, I have that, and I'm a middle mouse drag and drag to the right and left. You see, if I drag to the right, it gets dark, the left it gets thin. If I make it dark, dragging it to the right, and now hit 3, you'll notice it's a little bit more defined when I hit 3, when I would smooth. Sometimes people will do this. Let me go back to 1. A lot of times I might just actually add those extra edges in instead of having a bunch of creases that I have to manually put in. So if I know that I want something to be a little more defined, whichever one will work out pretty well. Okay. And that we'll take a pause until we go to the next part.